here tonight. For our candidates forum. As you probably know, if you read the newspaper, last November, an election between Mr. Hennessey and Mr. Parnofiello and two other candidates ended in a virtual tie. There were disputes and challenges over the exact vote count, and the controversy resulted in a special runoff election, which will be held in Rutherford on March 9th. Everyone also should have received a program for tonight. We will begin the program with Susan Moeller. She's a senior reporter here at the paper. She covers Rutherford for us. She's going to be interviewing both of the candidates. It's not going to be a formal debate. We're not going to stop them from finishing their thoughts. We're not going to hold them to a time schedule. But on the flip side of that, Susan does reserve the right to sort of move the conversation along and ask follow-ups. We really want it to be more of a forum than a debate. The second part, and probably why a lot of people came here tonight, is that we're going to have a question and answer with the audience. There is a mic stand, and it'll eventually have a microphone there. We were asking everyone to sort of line up behind you who might have a question. To keep it as orderly as possible, we'd like you to keep the questions short. We'd love to hear the life stories of everyone, but we just don't have the time because we only have till about 9:30 tonight. So if you can keep the questions short, and then once you're done asking it, you can go back to your seat, that would be great. We have a lot of topics we'd like to discuss tonight. And I think without any further ado, maybe a couple other things actually. The bathroom, there is one located right here, and then there's also a men's bathroom and a women's bathroom downstairs. Also, we're going to be taping tonight for Comcast, and it will be broadcast this Friday and next Friday at 4:30 p.m. So if you do ask a question, you do might end up on TV. Other than that, I'd like to introduce Susan Moeller, John Parnofiello, and Todd Hennessey.
This would be a great time if you have your cell phone to go ahead and put it on off or vibrate. That'll help us to kind of keep things focused up here. And thanks again for coming. Thanks to Rami and Stephen in the back who are helping film for us. We appreciate it. So your faces are definitely familiar to people in Rutherford, especially those of you who are signed up for the breaking news. You've seen them as we've advertised the forum. As we get started, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourselves and help us to get to know you a little bit better. Give us a little bit of information about your background, both professional experience, your time here in Rutherford, any kinds of civic things you've been involved in. Go ahead, John.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the leader for making this possible. I want to also thank Todd for making this possible. We both, agreed to this, and I think we can both say, in October we never would have expected to have a forum in February, but things happen, and also want to thank the residents for coming out and hear what we have to say tonight. As far as my background, I grew up in Rutherford. I'm a lifelong resident, as are my parents, so my Rutherford upbringing. As far as career-wise, I've spent the last 3 years working for the County of Bergen, notably with the Board of Children Freeholders, as a legislative aide for a former mayor, Vernon McPherson. And I've had a lot of experience with day-to-day constituent inquiries, writing legislation to later on. But also I have been working for a website for the past 3 years as well called Cinesport, which sells video highlights to different websites around the country. And I'll actually be taking a full-time position there next week. So a lot's been going on throughout the course of the winter, and looking forward to that adventure as well. I've been involved in a lot of activities through my time at Rutherford. I was a graduate of local Beer Fund School and Rutherford High School, where I participated in many activities. But more recently, I've been a member of the Rutherford High School Hall of Fame Committee, which we have a meeting tonight, so I apologize to the members that I can't make it, although we do have a induction ceremony on April 11th, so I'll put in a shameless plug there. $65 tickets if anyone is interested. contact me after this, if you will. You'll be at the Fiesta at 3 o'clock, Sunday, April 11th. And as far as some other activities, I've been involved with the Adult and Recreation Department as a coach with some of our youngsters from basketball and Babe Ruth, Little League. Also spent a couple of years as the assistant varsity basketball coach to the Rutherford High School boys team. And I think that's...
That's great. Thanks. How about you, Todd?
I'd like to thank everybody for coming here tonight.
You can just take it up. There you go.
I've been living in Rutherford for a little over a decade. I'm married, I have 3 children. My mom lives here, my brother lives here, my sister lives here, my nieces and nephews. My whole family live in Rutherford. And I also have cousins that have been here for at least 30 years. And I always had a few friends that lived here, Melissa and Maria Suarez. I used to come to Rutherford 15 years ago. I think it's a beautiful town. This is my home, and this is where I plan on staying, probably for the rest of my life. I also have a lot of experience in government. At 23 years old, I was the executive assistant to the mayor of a large city. I was a committee man, I was a ward leader, I was the assistant public safety director. I worked for the prosecutor's office, and I currently work for the Port Authority in North New Jersey. I owned a small business in Hoboken, which I still have the rights to the name of a pizza place, and I own several properties. I own 2 properties in Rutherford right now. That's my background.
We'll get the pizza recipe we get Probably one thing that people would like to know is why you're running for office. As you look toward the next couple of years in Rutherford, what are some of the issues for the borough that you're most concerned about? And maybe just, your top 2. What are the top 2 things that you're interested as you would look to lead the borough? Just jump in.
I think the main issue of Rutherford is the taxes. And I think we have to do something with that. And also, is the recycling plant that we had. I think that's very important. I think everybody that I spoke to, including myself, want that back. And I think we can save a lot of money if we do get that back.
We get what back?
Recycling.
Oh, the recycling.
People used to take their stuff to the dumps. They have a party there. They have bottles, cans, trees, shrubs. They used to go there and pick up mulch. And I think that what we have to do is we have to somehow pay down the debt that we have, because it's just too high.